Hi all, my name is Kat, and welcome to my channel in this body doubling session. I'm a bit of a chatty tasker, but if you prefer minimal chat, I have some other videos where I don't talk as much. Links in the description. Everyone is welcome here during these body doubling sessions. I work on current illustrations. If you don't know what body doubling is, it is a strategy to stay on task and get things done. More information and a link in the description. During this body doubling session, I'll be using a Pomodoro technique, not the Pomodoro technique. This one is different because we start with an hour and take a 10-minute break, then we go to 50 minutes with another 10-minute break, and so on until we hit 20 minutes, which will be our last stretch. Let's get started.
Hello. Wait, am I on? I think I am. I don't know. Yeah, I'm on. Okay, good. Good, good. Oh wait, what did I do? Okay, I didn't do nothing. There we go. Yay! Okay. Brains, brains, brains. Brains, brains, brains. Brains, brains, brains. Oh, I haven't turned on a couple of things. Damn. Oh wait. Wait, 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 wait. Oh, come on, man. What is this? Oh, wait. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Let's try that again. Nope. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Yay. Okay. I need to redo my layout. My overlay, rather. Yeah, this is one of those days where I just crawled out of bed. I'm sorry. Kind of. I'm kind of sorry. Yay! Okay. Let's go ahead and start that. Oh. You know what? I don't feel like putting on my little character today. I know I totally should, but I don't feel like it. I'm kind of sorry about that. Freaking... Ugh. Okay. Oh, crap. I forgot that thing doesn't have volume control. So, I don't know what's going on with my system, but it's weird. It's being weird. I'm just gonna go with that. Oh my god, my eyeballs. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what am I doing? Erasing stuff, that's what I'm doing. Anyways, I hope that everyone is enjoying today. Oh, well, I still have a couple of hours. I don't think that I'm going to keep that pattern. I don't think I'm going to keep that pattern. Oh my goodness. On his boots. Go and clean it up and see her. Bugger. Clean this up and see how it looks. God's bless. I am going to have to lower the opacity on this because otherwise I'm going to really, really mess this up. I mean, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but I know, sweetheart. I know, you're slipping. It's okay. Alright. Oh yeah, so my internet's being weird. And I don't know how that's gonna end up affecting this. Oddly enough, I do feel like this is really appropriate for him, which makes sense, you know. He's not exactly in a great state of mind being entrapped. Excuse me. Hmm. Hmm. Ah, no, don't do that. Oh, hey. Hey, what is going on? Oh, wait. Ha. I'm silly. What the hell? Alright, somehow I opened up another program. I don't know. Oh. That's because I so if you have 3 monitors, I don't necessarily recommend having 3 monitors. It's great, except when you're trying to locate where your mouse is, and that's one reason why my mouse looks like this, and why whenever I hit the control button, it does the little thing. Because I have to try and find it in 3 different screens, 2 of which are right next to each other, but the third one is below the others, and yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to tailor a store-bought dress. I do think that you're insane for doing it by hand, unless you have lots of experience with it. But you know what? That's not for me to decide. Actually, I think more people should know how to tailor their own outfits. However, kudos for you doing it. Kudos for you doing it. You're like entering earlier and earlier, I swear. I swear, I swear. Like, when I say entering earlier, I mean like you're coming into the stream earlier and earlier. That is not. Well, wait, yes it is. I didn't erase far enough for that one. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, see. No, I think everyone should learn how to do basic tailoring. Get clothing. I would have much rather have learned how to tailor my clothes than just to sew them. Like I know how to follow a pattern, I know how to do all that. Oh, son of a bugger. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I do understand that. Right now, my table that I have designated for being a table for everyday things has stuff stacked on it. And that also includes sewing because it's at the right height to go and do the sewing. I've tried to do it on the desk that I'm currently working on. And this was a while ago, so, you know, I wouldn't be... I don't necessarily do that on this desk anymore because I literally could not have space. But, yes. Good luck with that. I wish you all the best in the world. Well, why don't you ask her for help? Unless it's one of those neurodivergent situations where it will not work out if you do ask her. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, my grandmother used to make all my dresses. She passed before before prom and everything. Before I went into high school, so yep. I actually ended up making my own high school prom dresses. And then I would, your poor mother. Yeah, so I love nice. Yeah, I do recommend there's a couple of sewing, like hand sewing channels that I see on my feed every now and again. But I don't actively follow them. So unfortunately I can't be like, yeah, here you go. Mostly because it's like, okay, I understand how you're doing that. But they are out there. I do follow, I think I follow, what is his name? Death something or other? He's very adorable. Nice. Nice. There you go. If you got the hand sewing channels, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. YouTube is a wonderful resource. Are you okay, little one? Yeah, you just keep sliding today. I don't know why that is. Yeah, YouTube is a very wonderful resource. Although its parent company is making dumb decisions, but whatever. Don't boot me, bro. Don't boot me. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. But yeah. I don't know, I think... So this is how weird my neurodivergent brain is. Even though I fully know that YouTube and Google are owned by... are each other's company, you know. For some reason, my brain screams that they are both owned by Microsoft. And I think that that's primarily because 90% of the time I'm working on them, I'm on a Microsoft machine. So, yes. Oh, bugger, I did that wrong. There we go. So, even though I know one thing, my brain says another. And anyone who is not neurodivergent and finds that statement interesting needs to go and do bunches of research on neurodivergency, because that is not an uncommon statement to make. Anyways, anyways. Yeah, I am not super exciting right now. I'm actually waiting for an email confirmation on something, and it's actually very time sensitive, and I'm not overly thrilled about this, and I'm just sitting here like, bro, I need you to, I don't know, do something? But whatever, it's not fine, but I'll deal with it, you know, that kind of thing. Although if I have to call, I may not be a happy person. Lol. Anyways, yeah. There's an interview. I was requested to confirm a time for an interview, and I gave them confirmation about it, and I have not heard back from them, and that interview happens later today, and I may have to cut my stream short in order to make it, but unless I have confirmation, it's like, bro, I will spend resources, but I will only spend enough resources within reason. That's rude. I'm sorry, but that's just rude. So I didn't receive it until almost 30. I didn't receive the message for them until like 36 hours ago at night, you know, when everyone's winding down. Certainly it wasn't until after, you know, after time. But no, it's not that. It's not that. Like, I definitely don't have that, but I already have reservations about this, and this is not helping. This is not helping them in any way. I have reservations about this venture, and yeah. This is not helping those reservations. So, yeah, no. That's not, yeah, that's definitely not the thing that I'm worried about. If I was worried about it, I would be like, yeah, I've already been burned. Once. But not like, that didn't end well for the for the people that did that. Just saying, within 2 weeks after that happened, within less than a month after that happened, they got shut down, which was great, and I thought it was hilarious. But I learned a lot from that experience, and I'm just like, okie dokie then. Here are the warning signs. And this place has those warning signs, and I'm just like, don't like this. Ooh. Well, since I've already got the Goobles. Oh, great, perfect. Maybe they're watching. Awesome. Okay, so I am gonna have to cut the stream short today. So, awesome sauce. Yeah, but there's a difference. Currently, I'm in a situation where not going is still, like, going, even though it's bad, is still better than what will happen if I don't go and if I don't try. Yeah, I'm in a situation where even a scam is better than anything. Oh my. That is cute. I will definitely say, as I don't know if you'll agree with this. Nice. Nice. I don't know if you'll agree with this. Because so, you know, as I've stated, I used to right, right. Um Okie dokie. I can go and turn that off now. Okie dokie. Your statement about Walmart patterns made me think of this. So my biggest thing, or one of my things about being neurodivergent, I don't know if I've grown out of it or clothing has just gotten better, or if as an adult I'm just able to go and buy the things that I like. But as a kid, so I used to, when I was a kid, I was a part of 4-H, and one of my club activities was sewing. I used to make, I didn't make a whole bunch of projects, but because I would only work for 4 hours a week. You know, I'd go to the person that I went and did, my 4-H stuff, or my sewing part of my stuff with, and then, you know, I only go there once a week. So the thing is about that is that, you know what? I'm gonna check the things on this. Really? That's interesting. Do you really not go any smaller than that? That's interesting. Okay, well, whatever. Let's go ahead and clear that out. But I didn't have any say, like whenever I was really little, I didn't have any say in the cloth that I got for my patterns. I barely had say over the patterns. And the thing about that is that the cloth that we would get would be super right, yeah, and that's what it was too. But as I got older, we started actively going and getting, especially once I started, especially once we found out that I was neurodivergent, we did actually go and, dude, yeah. I luckily didn't have to deal with that, and I'm so sorry that you had to. I really am. That sucks. That sucks so much. That sucks so much, and I'm so sorry. That's all I can say. That's fair. That's very fair. But like I was saying, I didn't wear the clothes because they were itchy. And they felt weird, and I didn't like the visual patterns for it. Dude, that was probably like the best. Like, I mean, I don't know how your mom feels about that kind of stuff, or how you feel about that, but you know, that's awesome. even though the patterns are super cute and everything, I did not like the feel of it on my skin. Which I think drove my mom crazy up until we got me tested, and then she's like, oh, she's never going to. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, shoes didn't bother me as much. It was very much the fabrics, like. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. Well, I would say yes, except two things. One, the paperwork for it disappeared. I don't know where it is. And I don't know the name of the doctor or anything like that, so I can't go and ask them for paperwork for it. And two, we didn't do anything with it. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, also women, like, ever since I have finally looked into that whole aspect of myself, one of the things is that most women mask internally. They're more internal. I was more of a masculine presentation. So it wasn't like I was. Yeah, that's not fair. Yeah. It really sucks, like, but I will say that I'm gonna say thank you. There's an age difference between us. But I'm gonna say thank you because they, because if it wasn't for your generation, which isn't very far from mine, I think you're like, okay, if it wasn't for the older generation, older people that came before that got tested and all that kind of stuff, it would have been harder for me to be tested, and it would have been hard. Yeah, right. It's like a backhanded compliment. I'm sorry. I know. We're not that, there's not that big of a difference, but when it comes to research and stuff, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. Because research moves, even though it moves slow, it also moves incredibly fast. There you go. Yeah, yeah. But the difference with you is that you saw what happened. You actually knew that if you presented this way, you had an example of if you presented this way, how negative that would be. I had nothing. I was very much not in that in that female way. Yeah, yeah. I was told that that would be a thing as well. Which is such an interesting thing when you look back on it. It's like, bro, lifelong conditions do not just disappear. No, it's so funny how everyone was like, "Oh yeah, no, it'll just disappear as you get older." Oh yeah, no. No, since it's genetic, at least one of your parents presented with it or had it. Close enough for shits and grins. Yeah, yeah, exactly. He probably had a more effeminate approach, that would have had a more feminine diagnoses. Um, man, like, no, that whole emotional outburst thing, yeah. I do have a more yeah, I think that that's a bit of my masking right there is that I don't react to things immediately because it's usually negative negative result. Um oh shit, that's way too hard. Ah, resting bitch face. Yes, I know it well. Apparently I have that look as well, and I don't know how. Um, ah, excuse me. Yeah, I've been told that I have resting bitch face, but I don't know how I have resting bitch face. Because I guess it's because most of my friends and acquaintances know of one of my friends who has resting bitch face. And everyone will compare us and be like, you don't have it. It's just funny. Right. Nope, I've never had that. However, I will say that I had knee-jerk reactions when I was in high school. Um, and that actually stopped a lot of the harassment. Um, one time I was going to the library because I was volunteering. I was one of the volunteer aides for the library in high school, and oh shit, don't do that. That's bad. Okay, come on. What the hell? Anyways, I was one of the volunteer aides for the library, and I was running late, and I was walking with my boyfriend. Anyways, one of my acquaintances, um, or yeah, one of the kids in the school, they wanted me to come over and chat with them for a bit, and I told them, "Hey, bro, I'm late. We can go and talk about this later." Well, he swung around, or he put his arm around my shoulder and tried to drag me off, and I just like turned into him and punched him in the gut, and was like, "Don't touch me. I'm late." Everyone was just like, "What the hell?" And at this point, I had the reputation of being like this teacher's pet, nice person, and bro, come on. What the hell is going on? Yeah, yeah. You know, that's one of those things is that I was very much like, hey, I yeah, yeah. I don't think that anyone really expected me to go and do that. And like I said, it was a knee-jerk reaction. I wasn't like there was no intent of me actually trying to do anything, but um there very much was a difference afterwards, which was great. Um like I don't know if anyone had tried anything or were thinking about trying stuff um before that. Because like I said, you know, I was, you know, considered a nice person, except I probably was also, I was probably also treated like the crazy person, because I would, once I reached a certain point, I would emotionally dysregulate and have those like outbursts, which really sucked. Like, it super sucked. And like, even now I will still have them every now and again. And it's better now because I'm not in situations where I have to do, or where I am like, oh, hey, this is a thing. Very rarely do I put myself into situations where I absolutely need to, or where I end up being in a situation like that. I think the last time I had that was in January. And I was really stressed out. And I only had 2 simple tasks to do. I was very good. I was very good. I only assigned myself 2 simple tasks. And both of them failed spectacularly. Like, one of them was to go and get a key made. And the machine had to be restarted. Because you can't just go and get a key made. You have to go and use a machine, an automatic machine, to go and do it. Have you ever made a key before? It's stupid freaking easy. It's literally, hey, put this key in this slot, put this blank in this slot, and use the key. Use the key as a guide to go and cut the other key. It's dead simple. An idiot can go and do it. Trump can go and do it. There we go. Or Muskie Husky can go and do it. You know, one of those two. Super stupid easy. But no, we have a machine that automatically does it. And the machine failed to go at least like 3 times. The poor guy, like, there were at least 2 of us sitting there waiting for the machine to work. And the poor guy, like, I'm sure he was like absolutely mortified. I'm like, bro, this is fine. This is just one of the 2 tasks I have today. And then, like, I was completely chillax about it. And then I went to go and get my hair cut. And, you know, I was pretty chill and everything. I have a hard time with getting my hair cut. It makes me super nervous. I'm super hyper aware of everything. Like, even as a kid, I did not like having my hair cut. But I did it because that was something that I needed to be done. And I'm always like 10 times more like aware of what's going on. And there was and this was about a week before we were supposed to go on that trip, right? So I was overworked and had no money at that time. And the place I was getting my hair cut, it was very expensive. It was like one of the few like luxury things, like 60 to 70 bucks for a haircut, or 60 to 80 bucks for a haircut, because, you know, you got your haircut and then you got to go and tip the person. I mean, you don't have to tip the person, but it's the polite thing to do in the States because, you know. And I explained to them the situation because Switch was an a-hole at the time. But he's better now that he no longer has his manhood. Sorry, baby. Can't let you go and stink up my house anymore. Anyways, So, yeah, that was, and they told me that they couldn't cut my hair because of what he did. And I was like, what? And the dam broke. And I had, this wasn't the first time that I had been to this salon. And I had told them, hey, this is a thing. I do apologize. Like, I had warned them beforehand. And, that I sometimes have a hard time with the emotional regulation, that I'm neurodivergent, that I do have some sensitivities. I had warned them like whole on beforehand. And it was very much it turned into a whole fiasco, and I was emotionally drained afterwards. Like I said, the dam just burst, and I kept as cool as I could. I didn't scream, I didn't yell. I don't know if I raised my voice because, unfortunately, whenever you're in that kind of a situation, like, I was trying to be as quiet and as calm as possible. And because having that burst, having all that is incredibly embarrassing. Like, whenever you emotionally dysregulate, it is an incredibly embarrassing situation. And I'm sure you felt that too. Like, exactly, anyways, but they told me that they couldn't cut my hair. They were really great. They tried to work with me and everything, but the situation escalated from there significantly, and I will never, ever, 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 ever go back. And yeah, having my blinders on. But I knew that, yeah, exactly. So because of that, and nothing else, yeah. I tried to be as calm, quiet, and collected as I could have been. I tried to be as calm and collective as possible while I'm trying to emotionally regulate. And it was very, very hard. And at the time, I felt very, very calm, I felt, despite the emotional regulation, I did apologize, like, this, it's not your fault, it's just a lot going on, and all this. And I did have a schedule to go in later that week to go and get my haircut and everything, and it just escalated from there. It got worse until it was not. The week leading up to my trip was terrible, was absolutely terrible. And I felt so bad for my friends, for all that. And yeah, it was not a good week. And I was super drained. And then we had a giant ice storm the day I was supposed to leave for, or the day I left for my trip. It was a very, very bad, it was a very, very bad snowstorm. And I was just like, bro. And I think I actually, so my parents live out in the backwoods, and I was, and I've got a sibling that lives with them. And we were going on this trip together with some of our nibblings. And Yeah, this place was not big enough to fit my entire family. And I took the, because the highways had been all cleared and everything, I was like, okay, yeah, all the highways are good. No, not all the highways were good. I took the one that I usually take, and it took me a long time to get there. But you know what? It was, by the time we left, it wasn't so bad. Once we got onto certain roads, and it was just like, what the hell, man? What the hell? Now my sibling thinks I'm an idiot driver, and it's like, broski, I did not go and take this road. I didn't tell them that. Because they wanted to use me as a tester, and I was like, yeah, the roads I took were crap. And I don't think that they actually put that together. And as quote unquote and smart as my sibling is, it just proves that they're, you know, they be dumb. I love doing stuff to screw with my family. But yeah, whenever you are and you know, like you say, Lizardi, when you are emotionally regulating, it's scary. It's really scary. And because you don't feel like you have control. Even though you do have control, you don't feel like you do. And it can be really scary whenever, and I think that's one reason why instead of like throwing things, I mostly I will cry. But like I said, I've gotten a lot better because I don't put myself into situations most of the time that puts me in a situation like that. Yeah, it's too intense. Like you literally cannot do it. It's like a parasite has taken over your body, and the best you can do is hold on and just hope for the best. Like that is legitimately what that is like. And yeah, I tell people, hey, if I'm crying, do not try to comfort me. Do not try to do anything. All right, you just have to let me go and do it out. I let people know. I let people know. Right, I used to get yelled at so much for crying. The whole like, I'm very much going to go and dig at the boomers here. The boomer saying, you want to cry? I'll give you a reason to cry. Thing that did not help. That did not help. Because you know you'd get told to go and stop doing that, and it's just like I can't. I literally can't. Okie dokie, break time. I is back. My tea took a little bit longer than I was expecting. That's okay though. I don't know how long I've been gone since the Switch. Dun dun dun. Baby bug, you can come up here. Yes, come on. Yes, good boy. Yeah, that was very much the same. That was very much the same result I had. I will say that after the diagnosis, it was a bit better. Because I realized, hey, there is something. But like I said, no further actions after that point were taken. And I think a part of it was because literally there was no money. So, you know, that's always a fun little thing. So like looking back on this, it you know, especially like right now, I realized that it was a guilt-free way to or at least one of my parents to get out of it. Because they could be like, oh, but you said no. Like, you wouldn't let me go and do anything else. Why would you let me go and make medical decisions? But I had been asked, you know, they were testing out a new drug. I have no idea what it was, but they were testing out a new drug and they wanted to know if I would be willing to be on that. And because of my diagnoses. And I said no because I said, hey, I don't want to be on drugs all my life. I don't have to be. And looking back, that's a cop out. And the other thing about it is that I very much knew that we didn't have the money for it. And and they're like, okay, not a big deal. And in looking back on it, it's like, you didn't want me to get my driver's license until after I was 21, which I didn't do. You didn't want me to do any of these things. And the one time that I went out with friends and had no parental chaperone, I got absolutely reamed for it because I came back later than I expected to. And, you know, it was consistently, like, looking back, it was very much consistently I was being controlled. But, you know, when you're not actively out in the world and not, you know, when I say out in the world, I don't mean like I traveled and everything, but I did not interact with people very much. So, I was not able to see, and, you know, being a kid, I you know, you're not able to see shit. Unless you are very much aware of the situation, you're not able to see shit. And, like, the other thing about it is that anytime I told somebody, it's just like, oh, your parents don't know what to do with you because you're a girl, and they've only had boys. And I'm just like, okay. Like, every time I was dismissed. And, which only, you know, only leads into things. And now I'm like, oh, well, this is great. Not saying that I had a bad life, actually. Considering the situation, it was a great life, but, I don't... definitely know that there was a cost to it. One of that being at healthy social interactions. But you know what? I was raised by the boomer generation, so, you know, it is what it is. I really shouldn't give them even that much of a pass, but at the same time, like, they are trying in their own way, and I can't just be like, whatever. I can't just bash on them continuously because, you know, there are things I don't know about, which I know happened, but I don't know anything about it because all I know is that happened, but I don't know, like, what led up to it or anything like that, so. Yeah. Yeah. But it did not help with the feelings. Validation is such a powerful thing. And that's why you need to have a wider range. And my siblings certainly didn't help. Well, one of them did. The other one was just like, oh yeah, that's just how things are. It's like, no. That's not how things are. And, you know, they went through their own, like, craziness as well. For them to go and be to that point, you know, they went through their own craziness. Sometimes I wonder if they actively know what's going on. Well, you know, you think that that's awesome for you. I will 100% say that that's awesome. But, you know, you were exposed to. I think the difference is that you knew what steps to take afterwards. We didn't. Exactly. I had the key and I had the door, but there was no reason to unlock it for me. Because it didn't change anything. At least as far as I could tell. When I finally started unlocking, when I finally unlocked the door, things changed. Things have changed. And in many ways, they have changed for the better. That validation and actively taking a role. Oh yeah, no. I finally understand that about parenting. Parents have no clue. Their goal is to make sure that the kid survives. Like, that's the initial goal, is that the kid survives. The secondary goal is to make sure that the kid doesn't kill anyone else. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the thing, is that nobody, even though the diagnoses were coming out, nobody really knows. Yeah, and is happy. Yeah. Survives and is happy. Dude, I watched right. God, it's such, America has or the United States has I've got to stop calling us America. The United States, there's a reason why I say I've got to stop doing that, because it's not accurate. It's not accurate. We are the Americas. We are part of the continental America. We are the United States. That is our country. We are the United States. We are not America. We are United States. Right. There, I know, so I agree with I wonder what it's like. I don't think I could. Oh, coping skills. I read that as Chopin skills. um, but we're the United States. We're not America. We're just a part of America. But I definitely wonder, but considering how well I did, once it was acknowledged that I actually had some disabilities. Exactly, Chopin. uh, Once it was acknowledged that I had some disabilities, there were steps that were taken. I went into tutoring and I got better at things. And I learned that I could ask for help tutoring and things like that, and that's awesome. And I learned that, you can actually stay after school for things and not be in trouble for it. But once things started to click and all that, it definitely, like, I got into a remedial math course. When I had to transfer schools, not because the school was bad, but because the school only went up to a certain grade. So I had to transfer schools, and whenever I went to the other school, I had to take remedial math because I was terrible at math, and then I got really good at math. Like, I understood it, but like, yeah, it was crazy. But once my disabilities were actively, looked at by the schools and everything, that's as far as it went. It only helped with the schools, but I wasn't on any meds or anything, but I did have, I did end up having, I ended up being way better in my courses. Yeah, algebra and trig are great. I cannot do, oh, what is it? It's not trig. It's, what's the other one? Algebra, trig. There was another one, geometry. I was terrible at geometry because it required, like mathematical 3D thinking, and I couldn't do it. But you know what? Give me algebra and some chemical formulas, and oh my god, I was in heaven. Yeah, geometry. Yeah, definitely geometry. It was like a precursor. I don't know if you had geometry, but it was like a precursor to trigonometry. Unfortunately, I could not take trig when I went into high school, because by the time I got there, it was my math scores. I couldn't take algebra because I had to take remedial math courses, even though I had to take remedial math courses for 2 years. I think. No, I take a remedial math course my first year. Yeah, see. I had to take a remedial math course yeah, exactly. My parents tried to help in their own way, but they really couldn't. I don't know why exactly. Like, my dad, both my parents are really, really intelligent. It's just really, really hard for them to convey what it is. They don't have the skills to teach people. Does that make sense? At least not without a certain way. Or certain, like, yeah. Like, you know, I actually did, when I was really young, I did like math problems, but I liked the ones where, you know, you got the M&Ms or you got something tactile to play with in order to have a physical representation of it. And that's where I ended up having a lot of trouble. Like the toys, like the math toys that they would give you. Like, if I could have messed with those more, I think I would have done much, much better. Earlier on. Yes, no. But like that was definitely a thing. But yeah, it I was the only one in my immediate family that got tested. And I still am. And at the time, they didn't realize that neurodivergency could be more than just one thing. So they tested me for autism, and I was tested for... Right? Right? Actually, I didn't start doing math in my head up until I started working in food service, and then I really got good at doing math in my head. Nice. I thought you said your brother got tested. Uh, nice. Nice. Shit, that's not one. But, yeah, that sucks. Um, Luckily I didn't have any a-holes like that floating around. Um... Yeah, by the time I graduated, I actually, by the time I graduated high school, I was in the top 10% of my class. I went from being the absolute lowest to being in the top 10 of my class. Yeah, yeah. But when I was tested, they didn't even realize that neurodivergency could have multiple. You could have multiple neurodivergencies. So when they tested me, they weren't sure if I was ADHD or if I was autistic. And turns out I am both. So I am AU ADHD. Right. Right. Ah. Man. Back in the day, people were just wild. Yeah. 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 Gotta love the patriarchy for that one. You know, and it's crazy. Like, I was very, like I said, I was very masculine presenting with my neurodivergency. So as a kid, it was masculine presenting, but as a teenager, it was very feminine presenting. Unless I was really spun up. Yeah, 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 yeah. So as a kid, I was constantly spun up. And as I got older, I was less spun up because I had more control over, well, yeah, I had more control over what things I did and didn't do. So when I say masculine presenting, you know, the wild kid that ran around and caused trouble, essentially I was like Bart Simpson. I was Bart Simpson, minus the pranks and actual malicious wanting to hurt people. I was way more hyper. Yeah. Later, it was very much internalized. Yeah, I was the hyperactive, and then it got, yeah, it very, very much got internalized. Yeah, about the time I hit puberty is when that changed. I very much became the daydreamer type. Man, I used to get into so much trouble for forgetting things. Oh, I would forget things, but I wouldn't forget where I left them at. Like, I knew exactly where things were at unless somebody moved it. And I definitely did not like my things to be moved. Did not like my things to be touched. I did not like my things to be moved. I didn't lose. Yeah. Right. Oh my gosh. Man. Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I definitely understand that. When I was a kid, I didn't startle that easily, and I would get into some. I wouldn't get into hyper focus super easily as a kid. I startle easier now because I go into a deep hyper focus. Also, I don't have to be as wary as I used to be. I mean, you know. Might as well. There's a resource. Use it. I know, it sounds really bad saying, go use your parents as a resource. I mean it in the nicest way possible, folks. No, it sounds bad, but it's not. Ah, man. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Forget it. It's fine. Now I understand. I let that steep way too long. Maybe my taste buds have changed. Has not been 7 years, man. Supposedly every 7 years your taste buds change, which makes sense. Well, I wish you best of luck on the dress. I don't really know what to do with that. But yeah. Good luck with that. I do appreciate it, that though. I will say that whole stencil thing, I'm very curious about it. Because, oh my gosh. That could make life very, very awesome. But like I said, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, man. There you go. That poor dress. Oh, God. I have so many stories of things that I would love to tell, but I will never tell until my parents pass away. It's one of those stories that, yeah, it's like, oh my God. And then it's like, this is one of those stories that you don't tell unless you're completely anonymous, or the ones that are dealt with are dead. I have some pre-made ones. What, stencils? I have noticed that they do have some that I haven't. I will say I know that they have stencils. I haven't played with them. I know that a lot of drawing programs have stencils, but I don't mess with them because I don't quite understand how to use them. And I haven't found a project where, until recently, I haven't found a project where I'm just like, maybe I'll go and use this. Or let me go and rephrase that one more time. Until recently, I haven't found a project that has encouraged me enough to go and play with the stencils. Yeah, right. I will have to look into that though. Thank you for reminding me that they do have pre-made ones. That's one of those other things, is that being neurodivergent, you forget that things have certain things. I don't know how I remembered the whole, well, wait, yes I do. I remember how they had, why I remember why I remembered that Rebel has the metallic section. It's because because you know how yesterday I was talking about the being inspired to go and do a piece because of an article I read? Yeah, I couldn't tell you what piece it is or where it's from or anything. I feel like it's from a card game like Magic the Gathering. But there is or maybe it was done by one of the artists. I don't know. But there's a painting in my head where the artist did use gold leaf in it. It's an original painting and everything. And I'm just like, oh, this is so cool. And now because of this article, I want to do a painting similar to that one. Of course, not the same because, you know, not AI. But the, but I was just like, okay, here we go. Here we go. We can go do this. I was like, okay, well, Rebel's got the metallic thing, so I don't have to sit there and try and figure that out. Then again, I will say that people who can actually paint convincing metallics are so incredible. How close am I to being done in all this? And by this, I literally just mean the lines for... Oh, I think I'm done with that one. Yay! Excelente! Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm really impressed with artists who can paint, like, legitimately paint authentic looking metallics. I have tried, and I've got a piece that very much looks like it is metal. Took me forever to do. Like, legit took me forever to do. I don't know how I feel about it yet. All I know is that everyone's like, oh my god, I want prints of it! I do have prints of it. They are $80 a pop. As it gets smaller, I may make the price go up because I will never, ever, 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 ever be able to get prints like these again. And they will outlast God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's I have this piece. I have this print, and it's a beautiful print, and the artist that I was talking to, he's like, yeah, no, I went ahead and got some metallic markers because I had no idea how to render metal. It's like, fair enough. And I have a digital print of it that does not have the metallics on it. And I'm just like, I like the piece enough that I can ignore it. But that conversation will never not be in my brain every time I look at this piece. I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this. So, yeah. Hands are hard. I don't care who you are. Hands will always be hard. See, I have a problem with 90. It's a great stopgap. Don't get me wrong, very useful, very awesome. I have a problem with 90% of metallics. I literally went off. So one day after I got these prints, I literally ran around town trying to find these metallics, or trying to find the perfect metallic pen for this. And at one point I was just like, I'm gonna have to order this online. And I did actually find it. And oh my god, I was impressed. I was so very, very impressed with this piece, like, or with this pen. And the thing about it is that, okay, so these are printed on metallic paper, like chromed out paper. It's not, well, yeah. It's very shiny. It's very reflective. Yeah. Right? Right? Oh my god, my hero. Like, he alone is the reason why I want to get better at hands. Nice. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that with the metallics, unless you get, like, very specific chromey stuff, unless you get something that's actually, like, a smooth shine, 90% of metallics are all just, like, glitter. It's just liquid glitter. I'm sorry. No, this isn't, like, metallic papers. This is, like, legit shiny shit. What happened is that it was a bunch of ruined... It was a bunch of, like, ruined paper that was for a client. There was a leak or something. And it couldn't be used. And, because the thing that the client required was so big that even a portion of the paper being damaged made it unusable. So, yeah, foils. Yeah, it's all foils. Yeah, it's foiled paper. There we go. Yeah, the foils. Thank you. So it was... So the paper itself couldn't be used for their project. So we didn't want to go and waste a whole bunch of paper, and a bunch of us were like, well, why don't we just do prints on it? And yeah, it was so cool. It was so cool. And yeah, they were... they are $80 a pop. Because my boss absolutely is a saint of a human. Not was, is a saint of a human. I was like, hey bro. He's like, dude, this is so awesome. I was like, you can have one. He's like, how much are they? It's like, okay. He paid me 40, which is fine. But no, it was really great. He oh god, if I could work for that man again, I would. Actually, I need to go and send him my resume and portfolio and be like, hey, just in case you ever need, like, help at a drop of a hat or something, here's my stuff just in case. I need to go and email him that and be like, look, here's this thing. You have all my credentials. If your boss ever needs it, let's go. That's what I should do. That's what I should do. I should go and message him that and be like, here you go. Oh man. Best boss ever. The thing that I loved about him is that he was always encouraging, like, questions and, like, troubleshooting and all that. Like, and the other thing about it is the reason why I was hired is because I had expertise in a program that he knew nothing about. And that's the thing, is that he went after the people that could do the work that he couldn't. And you know, that's the sign of a good boss, is that he recognized where he was bad at and went for... Philip. Oh my god, I want to look at this right now because, dude, I want to see. Please tell me you sent me the picture of... Oh my god. Can you send me... Is this piece on your website? Yeah, this is like a burn it. This is like a the gold, not burnished. What is that? Because burnished is shiny. It's like... It's not the it's not the foil shiny. Okay, I'm gonna go and look this up because I really want to see this piece. Here we are. Wait. Ooh. Dude. Crazy art making list, I love it. Oh, those are web browsers in the background, okay. I like this piece. Oh, you just did this last year. That's awesome. Actually, hey, so I know that you said that you signed up on, Clever Kaiju. Oh, is that your Spotify list? The crazy art making list? Is that your Spotify list? That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, before I say anything, and absolutely... Ooh. Nice. Nice. Okay, I gotta go and double check my email real quick. But... Okay. Oh, no, they had to have been on, sooner. Okay. Never mind. Yep. I mean... Honestly, I wouldn't have... Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, see, I can't tell anything from the images, aside from the one thing and the kind of, like, Windows XP browser-esque thing going on there. But, like, nothing I see. Well, okay, there's that dance? Danger? I don't know. If I were to see it in real life, I'm sure I would be able to do things. I'm good. I'm good. No, I was gonna go and do a thing, but then I read the email closer and realized that I couldn't do the thing, so it's all good. It's all good. But yes. Yes. Dude, I really do like that whole that concept. That would be an interesting concept to see all around the world. Like international Medusas. Can you imagine a Japanese Medusa with a naga? Oh my god. I think the naga are the serpent. Or are they the water serpents? I don't know my Japanese mythology super well. I'm sorry. Not as much of a weeb as I thought I was. You know, I think he ended up hating going and doing all those hands. The mangaka for My Hero. Because I remember reading an article where he was interviewed and he's just like, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. That's why you don't see as many of the hands as the story goes on. Sure, it's symbolic of him, you know, forgetting his past life. No, it's just the manga being like, I don't want to draw hands anymore. man, like, I have to say in the last couple of years, the manga for My Hero has probably had the biggest influence. Oh, really? Dude! Dude! Please send me the link. I want to... If it has a link, I want to see... Oh, is that what was going on there? The blue screen of death? That's awesome. It has been a hot minute since I've gotten the blue screen of death. I am way too excited. You can always tell how excited I am. Because it takes a lot more strength. I know this sounds super weird, but the more excited I am, the more strength it takes for me to go and have, man, you know, I don't know about that. For me, I would say hedgehogs are. Because when they freak out, they go and turn into a little ball of spikes. Same thing with porcupines. Except most porcupines are actually vindictive bees. Or vindictive bastards, so, you know. But I feel like hedgies are a great metaphor for that. Like, when they freak out, they just turn into little balls. Like, even if you're trying to help, they do not want your help. They would rather be a little ball than go and do anything else. That is why hedgies are my spirit animal. Even though I named Cat. Probably! Like, absolutely! Pufferfish, yeah, pufferfish. But see, pufferfish are a lot more... are a lot more dangerous, kind of? I feel like they would probably be a better metaphor for toxic masculinity. Because, you know, fugu, if you imbibe them, they will absolutely wreck you. And when they freak out, they hurt everybody, including themselves. So, you know... Yeah, Righteous Fury. Like, she's more... I feel like Medusa is more like justice. It's like, look, if you do not abide by these rules, you're going to absolutely get wrecked. You know what? Oh my god! I have a great idea! Forget freaking, Lady Justice, or change Lady Justice into Medusa. Like, have her blindfolded, but have her snakes. And have her, you know, hold the, Oh! Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Is that, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, like, have Medusa as Justice, where she's blindfolded, but her snakes are still around her. Like, yeah. Yeah. Maybe? I think so? Which is even better. Like, the whole point of Medusa is to make men absolutely wreck what they do. Really? I never knew that. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Because, you know, justice is blind, but you will be punished for... You will be charged accordingly. You know? Your punishment will fit the crime. Those who follow the law will not be punished.
Clever Kaiju is an artist-led organization that brings visual artists together to learn, develop, create, and bring their work to the world. We host a live art show called The Pin Click and virtual labs with professional instructors. Check out our webcomics, online store, event schedule, and Discord community at cleverkaiju.com. That's Kaiju, cleverkaiju.com.
So this one is likely to be my last one for today. Simply because, as I have stated before, I do have an appointment that I have to go and keep, which I am terribly sorry for. But life is life, and unfortunately, I am alive. Okay, to continue on the whole, like, Medusa thing, there is I think it's a comic. There's a comic, I believe it's a comic, called Medusa and the Blind Girl, or the Blind Woman, in which Medusa ends up with a, blind girlfriend. Freaking, like, I've seen portions of it. It's beautifully done, and it's effing funny. Because Medusa's like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand. Why? It's great. Anyways, but yeah, like, freaking justice is blind, so why not go and blind the very person who literally is like, all justice for women? Because, oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing, is that my Instagram, unfortunately, keeps sending me, like, like, every day I get more and more, political stuff on there, and I don't know how true this is. Actually, I'm gonna look this up right now. Now, oh my god, apparently I'm not the only one. WTF, what the hell? Oh my god, this is BS! What? What? Now the reason I bring this up is because I was looking up some stuff, and unfortunately it rolled across my Insta page. Yeah, this is not the stuff I should be doing while on break. But did you know that up until the mid-60s, college in the US used to be free? Like, what the F? Like, what the F? Like, what the actual F? Like, so I've always had this disconnect that, like, I couldn't figure it out. However, now it makes sense. So where I grew up, I lived not far from where George Washington Carver was born and raised. Like, it is literally his birthplace, and there's a national park there. It's super small. That's where I used to do all my national park volunteering. And I always wondered, no. Apparently it was to stop people of color going to college, because it was done during the during the whole civil rights movement. That's such BS! Because guess what? People of color have been going to college for freaking ever. So now here's the thing, is that one of the things that they teach at the Carver National Monument was that Carver went to college. And they talk about it, and they actually emphasize the fact that when he arrived at the college, he went to an art college initially. And exactly. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Do you want to know why? Son of a bitch, I just had his name. The guy that did this Saturday Evening Post. I want to say Thomas something rather, but that's not right. Anyways, I did a whole research paper on him. But the reason why he left Saturday Evening Post is that they would not let him go and include his friends. Like, he did a lot of paintings of his family, right? Family and friends, right? And some of his friends included people of color. But Saturday Evening Post would not allow him to do that. Rockwell. Yes, Rockwell. Can't think of his first name. I still want to say Thomas. Thomas Rockwell, but that's not right. That doesn't sound right. Anyways. So Rockwell would literally left. Norman Rockwell. There we go. Yes. God damn. I've been trying to remember this dude's name for 2 days in a row. That was the name of the dude that I was trying to remember yesterday when we were looking at all the people's things, right? So, Norman Rockwell, he did what was America, right? Right? He did American images, like things, right? Well, Saturday Evening Post would not let him go and paint people of color. And he got pissed off about it enough that he was like, screw you guys, I'm leaving. And so, when you look at his stuff, you see all these like Saturday Evening Posts. Well, if you look at his later stuff, you see people of color everywhere in his work, like everything. I did an analysis of his painting based on Ruby Bridges, and it was analysis of a painting of Ruby Bridges, and at the same time, what was also going on is the hatred, or since it was relatively shortly after World War II, people of Asian and Japanese descent were still facing a lot of problems because of what happened. And I did an analysis of Rockwell's Ruby Bridges painting and of that's not the right name. God bless. The creator of Astro Boy. I did an analysis of Ruby Bridges and Astro Boy because they're both talking about civil rights. That is literally like seriously, they were both civil rights activists. Like Astro Boy is a piece on civil rights. It's not even like veiled. The only difference is that it's literally robots. Like it's literally robots. Tezuka. Asuma Tezuka. So they were literally talking about it. And even better, what was even better is that Tezuka did an entire piece because he came over to visit the States during the Civil Rights Movement, and he did a right? Thank you so much. He came over during the Civil Rights Movement because I don't remember what the reason was. It had something to do with Astro Boy being brought over to the States. That much I believe is correct. But he did this entire piece based off of his time while he was in the States, and he had Astro Boy talking to someone who had been through that, and he's like, yeah, this is what happened with the States, this is what's going on with robots, this stuff is like Tezuka was not like, it was so thinly veiled. Tezuka was all about human rights and activism, and so yes, he was all about human rights. Like every piece. His Blackjack series, oh my god. Such a masterpiece. Anyways, I'm not gonna lie, I have a massive crush on Blackjack. Because he's like, he is like legitimately like, he will absolutely wreck you, but he will fix you up afterwards if you allow him to. At which point, if you don't, he will absolutely let you die. Like his whole thing is, I will do my absolute best to save you, but you bring about your own fucking fate. It's great. It's great. And it's like, oh my god. And he, while he appears heartless, he's really, really not. He's really, really not. Oh my god, he's just been on the really shit-tastic side. I feel like Blackjack. No, so there was an analysis done that Blackjack was the surgeon that Tezuka, or the doctor that Tezuka wanted to be. But my thought, or my take on it is, not only is Blackjack the surgeon or the doctor that Tezuka wanted to be, but he's also Tezuka's absolute rage in the world, at the world. Like, if he could do it, he would just say, fuck all you guys, I'm gonna do the shit that I want to do. And he did, but he did it in the nicest way possible. Like, Blackjack is what Tezuka, I feel like Blackjack is what Tezuka wanted to be. If he had that type of fuck all skill. Like, seriously. Huh. But anyways, I don't know if Rockwell and Tezuka met in real life. I do know that Tezuka did get a chance to meet Disney, because Disney was one of the companies that was looking into taking at least I think that's right. I mean, as far as them meeting, but Disney was interested in possibly distributing Astro Boy. They were a part of that. But ultimately they decided not to. Clearly. But so yeah, I'm willing, at least I'm willing to bet that okay, so going back to now that I've got the civil rights, lesson all taken care of, and how artists have always said fuck you guys, the thing with that is that I'm fairly certain that the reason, let's see, all right, we are going to be referencing, what is it, peoplesworld.com, and considering that there are multiple different let's see, multiple different nice, okay, it was yeah, there we go, it was in California, should charge, okay, Ronald Reagan, love it, while he was governor of California, proposed to the University of California system should charge tuition to attend college. In his words, this was to get rid of undesirables those who were there to carry signs and not to study might think twice to carry picket signs. Wow. So thank you, Ronald Reagan. More Reaganomics. This explains all of that. Thank you so much. And thank you, California, for allowing it to happen. Anyways. So that was from People's World, and considering how many different, like legit different sources come from that, yeah. It looks like let's see, University of People, LA Times, Wikipedia, and yes, I'm going to start including Wikipedia as factual because of how much it's curated. PolitiFacts, because people do not like false information being out there. Who fucking knew? Anyways, but that explains a lot. But okay, so now that is taken care of, going back to George Washington Carver, who again is an artist. He was accepted to an art college, and when he got there, they said, "You're black, we won't accept you." And he's like, okay. Then he went to another college, or then he submitted to another college, and I think that one was, I want to say that one was with Booker. I'm not sure. I don't remember anymore. But this college did accept black people, and he was able to get in. and his teacher there, Carver was an artist all of his life. He was an artist all of his life. But his teacher there said, hey, his art teacher there said that, hey, I'm going to be real with you. You're a black man who's an artist. You're not going to make money. You are going to be destitute. Find something else. Your work is good. Don't get me wrong. Your work is good, but the realities of this world, it will not let you. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go and do science, because he had always been into plants. That's why everyone knows him as the peanut dude. He did not create peanut butter. That is not a true statement. He just created like 15,000 other things that has to do with peanuts, but not peanut butter. That was somebody else. Anyways. But he is the one that, he was the one that taught crop rotation and, all the things. So, now, I don't know, I'm going to give like a short history lesson on, why peanuts are everywhere, and why he created like 1,500 different things for peanuts, is because he was trying to get people to go and do crop rotation, particularly in the South. So then, one, the dust storm would not happen again, and two, so because the dirt was so used up, the soil was so used up for nutrients and everything, that peanuts actually put that nutrients back into the dirt. Anyway, so they created crop rotation, and since then has been implemented everywhere. Because yeah, you can thank a black man for the food that you have today. Anyways, him and his team went around all throughout the South, teaching farmers to go and do crop rotation. But because they are farmers and they do have to go and make money and everything, he and his team actually had to find things that peanuts could be used for. He developed everything from food to plastics using peanuts. So the thing is that he also worked with Henry Ford the First. I think he was the first anyways. Henry Ford the First, of Henry Ford Industries, the Ford vehicles, to create alternatives for fuel and for plastics. Sustainable. And they started that back in the freaking day, folks. So I am a little upset about how each generation has kind of failed at doing that. Not that I'm much better because I make art, but I'm trying to be less. I prefer paper products. I also prefer using things until they literally break. Yes. So, no. But yes. Oh my god. But yes, there you go. So that's how come we have all these different products, with the exception of peanut butter, which is most well known today. But that is why we have as many products, peanut-based products, as we do. Unfortunately, people are allergic to peanuts, so that does limit a lot of things that peanuts can do. So yes, I hope that there's my soapbox for the day. I hope that was interesting. Also, I have been to his lab at the Tuskegee Institute. By the way, if you get a chance to go to the Tuskegee Institute, it's amazing. It is super amazing. It's still an operating college. Oh, right. That's the reason why. Is I couldn't figure out how he was able to go to college, because this man was broke. Like, broke. In order for him, so, I'm going to tell you this. Where he grew up was not all that far from the Confederate capital of my state. Yes, my state had a Confederate capital, and it also had a Yankee capital. Which, yeah. So, yes, that is a major thing that happened. Anyways, so Yes. No, I wasn't. Don't try to gaslight yourself. But yeah, that is definitely a thing. I always wondered about that. Oh, right. Why? So, he grew up not too far from the Confederate capital of my state. And, so he had to travel to another town because his town did not have a black school or school for blacks. And so he had to travel to another town, and in order to be at this town, because his family, he was actually adopted by his masters. And they weren't really masters. They were not interested in slaves or anything, but because Carver, but because the Carvers, you know, they didn't have kids. Actually, no, I don't think they had kids. I think they were infertile. And his Carver's not George, he never married. But his quote unquote master, his wife needed help because she was very poorly. So they bought Carver's mom and they bought George's mom, and she already had a son, his older brother, and he worked the fields with George's master, whatever, with their master. And George ended up helping out Mrs. Carver, and he ended up becoming their son through things. He had a really shit-tastic start in life, but he wasn't treated as a slave. Neither was his brother. And as soon as they were freed, they pretty much were adopted by this couple. That is my understanding. I don't know how historically accurate that is, but that is my interpretation of things. I do know that he was adopted by the Carvers once the Civil War ended. Because, like I said, they were not really into slavery, and the farm wasn't big enough to support slavery, because in order to have slaves, you have to have massive farms, like legit massive farms, or mining operations or things like that. That's the only way that it becomes sustainable. But theirs wasn't like that. The only reason why they ended up with slaves is because they legit needed help, and they were not treated exactly as slaves. That's not to say they did not live in luxury. They did not live in the house, no. I don't know if after George's mother was kidnapped, if they did end up living in the house afterwards. I know that initially they did not, but anyways, I don't know that, but I do know that he was in the house because he was very, very sick, and he ended up helping in the house and learning more of the effeminate crafts. But when he did all of his book learning by the Carvers, they realized that, hey, he needs more education, and so they sent him to the nearest Negro school. Unfortunately, he could not afford anything, so he ended up he couldn't afford room and board. He worked with the local washerwoman. I don't remember what her name is. I'm very, very sorry. It's been a couple of years since I've actually gone through all this. I'm actually very, very surprised that I remember as much as I do. But he ended up working for room and board while he was going to the Negro school. Which, you know, is absolutely amazing. And like I said, so he was very, very intelligent about his work and everything. And from what I understand, everyone was very encouraging of him. I'm sure that it's a sanitized version of history in it to be more positive, but, you know, for the most part, he was, you know, treated very respectfully and things like that. But aside from his time in college and things like that, as far as I'm aware. But he was at Tuskegee, and he did do all the science. He actually worked with Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, because Carver was trying to develop cures for polio and things like that. And so Roosevelt would come to him for therapies and things like that, different therapies and things like that. So this was not a man who was just like, oh cool, he was a person of color and he was sciencey and discovered the peanuts. No. This was a well-respected, well-educated man who knew what he wanted. And fact that college is what it is today is such BS. And I absolutely, I should go and find Reagan's tomb, salt the earth, and spit on his grave. I'm so angry about this. I will not do those things, but I think I have been to his grave, but I didn't actually like go to his grave. Actually, where is he buried? Ronald. Wow, Google, stop being in my brain. Okay, no, I have not been. He was buried at his presidential library? That's so creepy. That's so creepy. I've not been to his library, therefore I've not been to his grave. And oh my god. That's so creepy. The sheer arrogance of being buried at your library. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is like Trump level BS for someone to go and do. I don't care. That is Trump level BS. I bet you Muskie Husky would do it. I feel like that would be something that Muskie Husky would do. No. I know how Muskie Husky is gonna get buried. He's gonna go and put himself in some Tesla BS and then go and ship his ass to the moon. That's how he's gonna do it. Or he's gonna be a satellite. Oh my god. The sheer arrogance of that man. However, it is hilarious that anyone who has been on some of those flights are not considered astronauts, which is fucking hilarious. And it's like, dude, we're all angry at you. We don't like you anymore. Oh my gosh. No, I don't want that man on my moon. She has done absolutely nothing wrong to deserve that BS. I'm sorry. The moon does not deserve that kind of disrespect. You know who should be buried on the moon? All the astronauts. Any astronaut should be buried on the moon. Because you know what? They have put their freaking lives on the line in order to do something that not very many people can do. And that is a thing. Especially the ones that were on the International Space Station. Like, those guys should absolutely be buried on the moon if they wish to. 90% of those that come back down to Earth are like, I don't want to leave. Like, it's cool to go in space, but I want to be buried here. This is my planet. This is my world. Like, the moon does not deserve that disrespect. However, well, no, that would be a bad idea. Ooh, I know exactly where we can go and send Muskie Husky. The Marianas Trench. He can go there. He wants to go and do something that no other human can do. He can drop to the very bottom of the Marianas Trench. Do it. Do it, Buster. Do it. Let whatever lives down there go and eat your ass. We shouldn't even allow him to be dust. We should just drop his body down there. Oh! Which reminds me, I may have to go and call up some places and be like, hey, how safe is my stuff? Because this doesn't seem right. Because apparently the little doji woji is yeah, Okay, has anyone here seen, and yeah, I'm kind of done with this because I'm on my soapbox and I'm not getting down anytime soon. Damn it. Okay, has anyone seen Assassination Classroom? Because if you can't, or if you haven't, oh my god, it is amazing. It's like, dude, this is awesome. I wish I had superpowers so that I could go and teach kids like this. This is amazing. Kids would be so much more interactive and engaged. Like, oh my gosh. So, the thing, where was I going with this? I am going someplace with this. Okay, I have an ADHD, I have a neurodivergent, like, trail on this. So I was looking at my videos. I don't know where I found this thing at, but I was looking at something on my videos, and the suggestion on my videos was that it should be under conspiracy theories. And I'm like, my videos are not conspiracy theories. Meanwhile, I'm doing these soapboxes. Huh. Maybe there's a theme here that I don't know about. Anyways, so, right. So, essentially what's going on with Muskie Husky, because apparently he does not want to be called by his last name, which I will forever call him Muskie Husky now just for that. But Muskie Husky, so Muskie Husky right now is reminding me a lot of this character who is way the frick smarter than the Muskie Husky is. And that is that there's this character in the Assassination Classroom called Karma. Perfect name for this character. Anyways, Karma's hyper intelligent and prefers to be the puppet master rather be in the thing. Nice. Lovely, thank you. But Muskie Husky is trained to emulate Karma, except he's doing very, very poorly. Karma would absolutely never be caught and not do what Muskie Husky is doing. And Karma's like, yeah, the piggy bank is now mine. And it's the national funding, like, for everything. He's in, like, national funding and all that kind of stuff for his professional job. And this isn't really much of a spoiler. Like, you get to go and see what he ends up doing and all that kind of thing. And he treats, like, the government funds as his own personal piggy bank. But you know what? He's not doing it because he's like, being malicious and trying to cover his own ass. No. He's like, I care enough about other human beings. He will never say it, but he's like, I care enough about other human beings that I'm willing to go and put myself through hell in order to make everything better. Anyways, Muskie Husky's the exact opposite. Yeah. Oh, you know what? There's something I want. No, that was in St. Louis. Oh, bitchin'. Oh my god, they're still doing Handmaid's Tale? That's amazing. Did they ever find out why? Really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, how did it... Yeah, wait. Somehow I don't believe that. I don't necessarily believe that. I really, really hope that it does get. Okay, so yes. Yes. By the way, I am absolutely not a fan of Handmaid's Tale. Handmaid's Tale. It's an interesting concept, but I really, really, really don't enjoy that show. Mostly because it's way too close to reality, especially right now. Although, right now, because it's so close to reality, it might be, like, if I were to go back and watch it, I might consider it hopeful, because right now, there needs to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And oddly enough, as we all know, media is a reflection of life. I am like way, way, way too hyper right now, and you can see it in my line work because my lines are really, really thick. I'm having to hold back a lot of my strength right now. Like, I have a flood of energy. Yep. Yeah, I think that this is definitely going to be my last stretch, and I am sorry that I didn't do much in the way of actual work on this. Well, I mean, I got lines done, so that's good, right? I got lines done. Some lines done. God's bless. Damn, that turned out really well. Oh my goodness. Okay, my rant is over. I'm done. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta go message someone. Ay vey. I don't know why I keep going vey. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know why that's in my vocabulary, but it is. Oh, hey. Yeah, there we go. Woot! Ah, lovely. So I will say that I have been going back to playing some video games. It's been a hot minute, and I've been in, let's just say, less than the greatest situation ever. But I finally couldn't do it anymore, and I started playing Neverwinter Nights. I know, I have some streams of it, but no, I won't go back to it. No, I will. I totally will. All right, it is not a 10-minute break. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me today. I am sorry that I was on a soapbox. This was not how I planned on today going. Actually, I don't have plans when I do my live stream, aside from just doing the work that's on my screen. That is literally my plans. Everything else is inconsequential and is, you know what? I'm going to turn this down. I don't know how loud that really is because I cannot hear it. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Yes. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. Go get some food. Yada, yada. I will see you tomorrow. I am definitely wound up and hyper. All right. Bye.